Here it is. All right, after months of planning, today is the day. We are flying to Europe. And there's Cheyenne. Oh, look at him come into focus. This camera's awesome. I love it. All right, let's go. You ladies ready? All right. All right, so we're in Edinburgh. It's our first stop. Edinburgh. It's our first stop. And we basically did about 24 hours of traveling. Everybody's dead tired, but Shade and I were like, well, we're here. We might as well go out and venture out. So we're looking for a pub, get a couple of drinks, and then we'll meet up with the ladies later. It's so windy. I feel like I'm in Chicago. How cool is that? That's very cool. Love it. After you. Look at that. All right. Thank you. Oh my. Cheers. That was damn good. We had our first taste of Scottish eggs in Scotland, and they did not disappoint. Phenomenal. We're on an all-day trip of Scotland. We're going to go through the Highlands to Glencoe, all the way to Lock Ness, and make our way back and make various stops along the way. So it's going to be an all-day adventure. Very excited and looking forward to it. Get the Lannon family outing with the lock behind the I gotta say it right, the lock. And there's Mom. Happy birthday, Mama.
Hello.
So we've got Alex or Sandy. Sorry, saying it properly. So he's with Experience Tours, and it has so far been phenomenal. Absolutely love it. He's amazing. He knows everything there is to know. And now where are we headed next?
So now we are in Strathire. We're heading up over Glen Ogle into Rannochmoor and then Glencoe, where we're going to stop for the beautiful Three Sisters viewpoint and to learn about the massacre of Glencoe in 1692.
Jeez. So come with us.
This has got a deep-rooted in Highland history and culture, even to this day. So I mentioned earlier in the van the kind of precursors to the Jacobite movement and the reasons for that. Well, of course, we had what was called the Glorious Revolution, which was basically the transfer of control and power from the monarchy to the government. And that led to a huge amount of constitutional change in 1688. Down in London, but it also led to the throne being vacant, and we have this puppet king who I mentioned, William of Orange, William and Mary, who are actually Dutch in origin, and they are effectively Protestant, religious, of course, reform happening, and they are really used as pawns by the government. Up here in the Highlands, of course, they are seen from contemporary eyes in London as being a major problem, a rebel force unwilling to comply to the rule of government. So William of Orange insists that all the clan leaders, the big family leaders if you like, up here in the Highlands sign an oath of allegiance, a declaration of allegiance to the king. And all but one clan managed to do that. The deadline is effectively Christmas Day or New Year's Eve 1691. The one clan is the MacDonalds of Glencoe, the clan who live down at the bottom of the valley here. And they are actually willing to comply, but they're late to the party effectively. And as they come up the valley here, they are beset by a terrible storm, a big winter storm that comes in and snows them into the valley, somewhere down on the valley floor here. And actually we don't exactly know where this happened, but somewhere within eyesight of where we're standing today. After almost 2 weeks being snowed into this location, the government grows tired of this and they send a battalion of Campbells north from the Campbell seat down at Inverary and the big castles at Kilkern Castle. And the Campbells intercept them, they find them in their camp here. Now, as is the case in the Highlands, even to this day, when you come across a group, or when a group of people come to your door, you welcome them in. The Highlands are famous for that warm hospitality, so the MacDonalds did exactly the same. They welcomed them in, they gave them board and lodgings, food, and they were very hospitable to their hosts. But they didn't realise that their hosts had an instruction, and that instruction arrived after only 3 or 4 days here, and that instruction was to massacre their hosts.
Jeez.
So 5 a.m. the next morning after receiving that instruction, they attacked, and actually many of the MacDonalds were still in their bed, they were still asleep, and they were attacked whilst they were sleeping. Some 30 or so, again these figures are slightly open to interpretation, but some 30 or so some 30 or so MacDonalds who were sleeping in the camp were killed. What we now know, now that we've done a lot of research into this, is that probably the Campbells actually gave them a bit of notice that this was going to happen, because we have found the bodies and we've found stories, folklore of people who escaped into the hills, so they knew that this was going to happen. And also right down at the bottom of the valley here we have what's called Signal Hill, a fire which was lit as a warning to something that was going to happen down in the valley floor here. So 1692, well, we're at the end of the 17th century. We have newspapers, we have the press, the news of the terrible events that happened here travels very, very quickly. And actually, it's pretty much the downfall of the monarchy, and the government was in a spot of hot water here. And it really led to a lot of dissent in the Highlands, because of course it was seen as a treacherous act against the clan who was actually willing to comply to the rule of government. And fast forward 6 years to 1698 in the first Jacobite uprising. Well, a big part of the catalyst for that event was what happened here in the valley floor at Glencoe. So a pretty poignant location, and something that really just shouldn't have happened.
Time for some lunch. We're stopping at a, I can't pronounce it. We're at some tavern, some inn.
Oh, it smells lovely.
Shane and I decided to do a true Scottish experience, and we're having haggis. So,
Yes, we have got the contents.
all right, so that's it right there. I'll let you know how it is. It's good. It's good. I don't know why this gets a bad rap. So good. Delaney and I are in search of Nessie.
That is real.
It is real. Lock Ness.
Lindor's Abbey, Aqua Vitae. So this is the original whiskey as commissioned by King James V
There you go.
in 1494. technically speaking, we're not allowed to call this whiskey because it's not been matured for 3 years and 1 day in oak barrels, but it is the same recipe and it comes from the same place as those monks all 500 years ago. So let's
do it.
Let's give it a wee shot. And
All right, Shane.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Don't ask why.
That's really good.
So the weather's been interesting. It's been raining, and then when we get to a destination, it stops raining and it's like really nice. This instance, it was raining. It stopped raining. We got out, had a shot of some whiskey, and it started raining again. It is, I think it's like 9 o'clock in the evening, and we're out for Trisha's birthday dinner, and we're at the Sheep's Head Tavern, which is the oldest tavern in Scotland, founded in 1360. Okay, we are sitting in the chair that the Queen sat in 2016. It says, Her Majesty the Queen visited the Sheep's Head Inn on 6th July 2016. I'm sitting where the Queen sat, God rest her soul. You couldn't ask for a better day. It's actually beautiful out today. Sunny, warm, relatively warm, but here we are. This place is wild. It's a rainbow! So at 1 o'clock every day, there's a cannon that they shoot off at the top of Edinburgh Castle, and we are waiting for the cannon to be shot.